Hey, it's been a while, and I'm sorry about that, but I'll be doing an update video soon just to kind of explain what's going on, what's been happening in the past month or so, and what will be happening in 2017, so stay tuned for that. But before then, I wanted to do a short video just to get myself back into the process, just something short and sweet. You know how it is. So I didn't play many new games in 2016, I never really do, but I did play a few, which is just more than I usually play, so I decided to compile this few into a list, and here we are.
I suppose there are two things to remember about this list. First of all, I don't play many new games, so you probably won't see your favourites here. And secondly, I have no current gen consoles, so that means PC games only. Forgive me. I also won't be putting remasters here, but Day of the Tentacle Remastered is pretty good. And I did a video on it, so go ahead and watch that if you want to know what I think.
I suppose another thing to keep in mind is that this list isn't a be-all end-all, these are the best games of 2016 list. It's more of a, here are some games I played last year, I liked them. It's that kind of list. So let's get on with it.
Number 6, Samorost 3. Now, I technically haven't played too much of this game, that's why it's at number 6, but I do recognise its potential and I really like what I have played. Samorost 3 is a point-and-click adventure game by Amanita, who you may be familiar with if you've played Machinarium or Botanicula. But Samorost 3 is about what you'd expect from Amanita these days, and that's not a bad thing. These games are always full of great puzzles and cute little characters, and there's never any words in these games, so you can play them no matter what language you speak. I always thought that was really neat. Anyhow, in Samorost 3 you once again play as Gnome, this cute little guy who finds a flute and decides he wants to adventure through the cosmos in this cobbled together spaceship. This is a delightfully weird and pretty game, with lots of strange characters to find and interact with, puzzles to solve and bizarre landscapes to explore. You never really know what you're going to come across in this game. It's just cute, and I like it. I mean, look at this guy dance, how can it not be on the list? Number 5, The Binding of Isaac Anti-Birth. This is one I've been playing more in 2017 than 2016, but it did come out at the end of the year. Okay, so technically it's not a game, but it breathes new life into a game I haven't played for a while, so that has to count for something, right? This is an expansion for The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, which is probably one of my favourite roguelikes ever, and maybe even one of my favourite games ever. However, this expansion is completely fan-made. All of it. It has new enemies, characters, items, new areas and bosses, even an entirely new soundtrack that I think actually outclasses the original one. Maybe not quite Danny Baranowski standards, but it's still pretty good. And everything here feels so official, like it was made by the original devs. It's a mod of professional quality, and I personally prefer it to the official expansions. For me, Anti-Birth is the direction I would have preferred the game to go down with the DLC. The new mechanics that it adds are really fun and don't feel out of place, in addition to adding appropriate challenge to the base game. I mean, I hate to be negative, but I really did lose some interest in Rebirth once Afterbirth came out. And Afterbirth Plus, the new expansion that just came out, doesn't seem to be doing much to alleviate what bored me about the first expansion. However, Anti-Birth is in talks to become official, so there is that. Anti-Birth has been constantly surprising me and reminding me why I love this game in the first place. Whenever I came across a new boss, I had no idea what to expect. And there are so many other little things like zombies bursting from the water that have been making me feel like I did when I played the original back in the day. In short, Anti-Birth encapsulates that classic feeling of The Binding of Isaac for me, which is only heightened when you hear this in a secret room. Not to mention, this mod is completely fan-made and free, which is amazing. I highly recommend checking this one out. Also, donate to the devs if you can. This is a quality mod that deserves recognition. Number 4, Asagawa Academy. Now, Pro Jared caught a little bit of flack for putting this on his list, but I totally agree that it should be there. This is actually something kinda special. Asagawa Academy is a visual novel dating sim starring fictional versions of some YouTubers you may know. So in this game, you can date a fictional JonTron or a fictional PBG. You can even befriend the guys from Hidden Block. It's really neat. With stuff like this, you do risk running your game into the realms of cringeworthy self-referential in-jokes and fan service, but honestly, Asagawa Academy does a really good job of creating its own world and its own jokes, which I didn't expect at all. Despite the game having a strange concept, a lot of the characters have very believable struggles. It goes without saying then that this game is incredibly well written. Illusi did an incredible job here. The game follows the story of Hana Mizuno, a shy, pink-haired girl who has been bullied in the past and you make choices for her as she tries to fit in and find a guy she likes. Again, this is a cute game, but it also makes you sympathize with the problems that the characters have, which, you know, usually indicates some good writing, so I recommend you play this. It's another free thing, and you can donate again, so go ahead and do that. Number 3, Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action. Yeah, I know, it's another visual novel. That's 2 on the same top 6. Trust me when I say I'm just as surprised as you are, but I guess that's just what I've been enjoying this year. This is a game in which you play a bartender and you talk to people and make drinks for them, and that's about it. But the game is full of great banter, an interesting world, and some great atmosphere that comes from the astounding pixel art and music. In Valhalla, you play as Jill, a 27-year-old woman who meets some interesting clients in her bar. From musical superstars to macho journalists, this game has a huge variety of characters that are fascinating to learn about and talk to. And then there's the whole drink making thing. Basically, you have these ingredients and different drinks can be made from them. You've got to make the right drinks for the right people, even when they're not necessarily sure what they want. Sometimes they'll name the drink, sometimes they'll just name a flavour, and sometimes they'll be incredibly cryptic. But a lot of details of these cryptic clues can be picked up from previous encounters. For instance, one woman mentioned she wants a drink that's been dedicated to a friend by its creator. That's actually something that's mentioned by someone else who had come in before. So it's a game that rewards paying attention, and it's set in a compelling cyberpunk universe. I really dig it a lot. It's a relaxing experience and I highly recommend. It's also currently on the overwhelmingly positive Humble Bundle with Day of the Technical Remastered. Now, get them both, because you won't be disappointed. Tell them Papa Scarf sent you. Number 2, Doom. I wasn't sure if this one would take the top spot, but it only just misses out. The new Doom is an incredible game, and definitely the best single player experience of the year. A lot of people say this is exactly like classic Doom, and while I don't quite agree, it is close enough to be an awesome and fun game. I'd probably call Doom 2016 the Zeitgeist Doom. It's Doom how popular culture sees Doom, which is why it borrows heavily from things like Brutal Doom and even uses the classic rip and tear phrase from that one comic. That being said, what it does incredibly well. The weapons feel great to use, the monsters are awesome to play against, and the glory kills are surprisingly non-intrusive. This is a game that rewards you for constantly moving and getting up close and personal with the demons. Not to mention, this is some of the best level design I've seen in a shooter for a long time, and while I do think it gets a little more linear as the game goes on, some of those early levels are actually masterpieces. There's also the multiplayer, which got a lot of hate on release, and I don't necessarily get that. It wasn't the best, but it was still kinda fun, and the updates that it have added have really improved the experience there. Even SnapMap is getting more impressive as time goes on, even if I do think it's a little bit limited. I guess the last thing I want to say is, if you haven't picked this one up already, do yourself a favour and pick it up. It's a wonderful, action-packed little gem. Number 1 goes to Overwatch. Yeah, Overwatch was my favourite game of the year. Probably not the most original choice, but damn, I love this game. Do I think it's perfect? No. Do I think it's fun? Hell yes. Overwatch is a game that really caught me off guard. I've been a huge TF2 fan for years and I never thought something could fill the same gap. Not even this game, but as soon as I played the beta for the first time, I knew this game was right up my street. As a matter of fact, I pre-ordered straight away. If you don't know what it is, it's a team-based shooter with lots of interesting characters, each with unique playstyles. And all of them are fun to play. I mean, this is a game where playing as healer can be a lot of fun. Take Lucio for instance. Sure, he's a healer, but he can also ride on walls and push people off cliffs. Every character has a niche and has their own place in the game. Some more than others, but I think it's difficult to balance a game like this. Luckily, the game is being constantly tweaked to improve the experience, which you have to appreciate. Not every game gets that. And not to mention, there's so much content being packed into the game right now. Currently, we have 23 characters, a few maps, lots of different modes, cosmetics to unlock, events to take part in, and the game is still having loads of new stuff added frequently. And there's also the amount of people that Overwatch has brought together. I've made new friends because of this game. It's weird to think. And I love the world that Blizzard has created. The lore isn't that deep as of yet, but I do think that it has some serious potential. It's also clear how much people love the characters from their reactions to all the details of their lives in the comics and cinematics. I think that's a sign that Blizzard have created something truly special here. A modern classic, if you will, and a cultural phenomenon to boot. And you know what? I'm completely on board for it. I may not think it's a perfect game, but I just can't stop playing it. I've sunk probably over 200 hours into the game at this point, and I'm still enjoying it a lot. So really, I'm excited to see where this one goes in 2017.
So those are my top 6 favourite games of 2016. Now feel free to tell me that I'm wrong, that my taste is awful and that the games you played were so much better, but these are my picks, so screw you. But seriously, do tell me your favourites, because I'm curious to know. Maybe there's something out there that you really enjoy that you think I might really enjoy, and I won't know unless you leave a comment, so go ahead and do that. There's a dog outside.